JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Hi guys. Before we go into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Senton farmer killed during fight, brother taken into custody. The Senton police have launched an investigation into the death of a man who was allegedly killed during a fight with his brother in Cascade District in the parish. The deceased has been identified as Lambert Allen, otherwise called Harry, a 48-year-old farmer of Cascade. It is reported that about 1:40 p.m. on Thursday, Allen and his brother had a dispute over money. The dispute developed into a physical tussle during which Allen was reportedly stabbed with a metal pipe. The police were summoned to the scene, and Allen was found lying on his back in a pool of blood. His brother was taken into custody on suspicion of murder. Two men killed in Westmoreland in separate incidents. A man was reportedly shot dead at Rickett Street in Savlamar, Westmoreland, on Friday night. His identity is not yet known. According to the police, residents reportedly heard loud explosions and summoned them. On arrival of the police, the now deceased was found lying face down, clad in a blue jeans, plaid red and white button shirt, and white shoes. He was transported to the Savlamar Public General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. In the other incident, a man was killed at Amity Crossroad, also on Friday night. He has been identified as 31-year-old Randy Richardson, otherwise called Tattoo, a labor of Hertford Crossing in Petersfield in the parish and Anchovy in St. James. Reports from the police are that about 7 p.m., Richardson was sitting with some friends at the Amity Crossroad when a motorcycle with two men aboard drove up. The pillion disembarked, brandished a gun, and opened gunfire at Richardson, hitting him to the upper body, before escaping on the said motorcycle in the Piper's Corner direction. Richardson's friends escaped unhurt. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, Richardson was seen lying on his back, with what appeared to be multiple gunshot wounds to his upper body. He was later transported to the Savlamar Public General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Investigations continue into both incidents. Licensed fireholder charged with a bar shooting freed due to absent witnesses. A licensed fireholder charged for shooting a man during a fight at a bar in Old Harbour, St. Catherine, has been freed due to the failure of witnesses to go to court. Businessman Mark Chen was charged with wounding with intent and using a weapon to commit a felony. Chen, a 40-year-old technician of New Harbour Village, Old Harbour, St. Catherine, walked free from the gun court on March 15 following a successful no order. When the matter was called up, the court was informed that despite several publications and the different trial dates, witnesses, including the complainant, have failed to appear. Allegations were that on February 17, 2023, Chen was a patron at a bar in Old Harbour, St. Catherine, when there was a dispute, which resulted in a physical confrontation between him and the complainant. Chen allegedly brandished his licensed zig-zag pistol and shot the complainant in the face. The injured man was taken to hospital, where he was treated for his injuries. Chen later surrendered to the Old Harbour police. He was arrested and subsequently charged. He was represented by attorney at law Orville Morgan. 3 arrested over Chambers Lane gun seizure. 3 people were arrested on Friday following the seizure of an illegal gun along Chambers Lane in St. Andrew. Their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Reports from the Matilda Corner police are that about 5:30 a.m., a team was conducting a search of a premises when the gun was discovered. 3 people were arrested in relation to the seizure. Investigations continue. Auditor General reveals that Speaker returned to investigative reports to her office on Friday. Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis has disclosed that 2 reports that were sent to Parliament on December 28 and January 29 were returned to her department on Friday by Speaker of the House Juliet Holness. The first report is a special audit of the Financial Services Commission, and the second, a special audit of Tax Administration Jamaica. Mrs. Monroe Ellis did not give the reason for the return of the reports. She said that she'll be dispatching them to Parliament on Monday. The disclosure comes after Jamaica Labour Party General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang said that as of Friday, there was no outstanding report from either the Integrity Commission or the Auditor General awaiting tabling in Parliament. The opposition People's National Party, meanwhile, has reaffirmed its stance that there should be immediate tabling of reports from all investigative bodies upon submission to Parliament. The PNP has raised concerns about changes in the tabling of reports from the Integrity Commission and Auditor General based on a ruling of the Speaker of the House. The PNP has suggested that the adjustment for the tabling of certain reports from the Integrity Commission was a deliberate act after the Integrity Commission's annual report was tabled in July last year, disclosing ongoing investigations involving 6 parliamentarians for illicit enrichment. The PNP says, additionally, the Speaker's ruling has stemmed the prompt tabling of the Auditor General's performance audit report sent to Parliament. The opposition says it is strong against this approach and maintains that the conduct of the Speaker with respect to the timely tabling of reports and their departure from established practices is inconsistent with good governance. But JLP General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang claims these allegations have been proven to be baseless and misrepresent the procedural integrity of the parliamentary system. Storyteller Morrison's appeal for increase in Supreme Court award for wrongful extradition dismissed. The Court of Appeal on Friday dismissed the appeal of Jamaican businessman Richard Storyteller Morrison, who was seeking an increase in the Supreme Court award of $3 million against the government for wrongfully extraditing him to the United States of America in 1991. Morrison, after spending 22 years in prison, was deported to Jamaica in 2013. He then filed a negligence suit against the government for compensation. For wrongful extradition and the pain and suffering it caused and breaches of his constitutional right. The government accepted liability, and following an assessment of damages, the Supreme Court awarded Morrison $3 million. He complained that the award was too low and could not compensate for even a month of the living hell he went through during the years in prison. Morrison, who represented himself, filed an appeal seeking to have the amount increased. On Friday, Justice Patrick Brooks, President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Nicole Simmons, and Justice Kizok Lang ruled that Morrison had not demonstrated that Supreme Court Judge Dale Staple was palpably wrong in his assessment. On February 4, 2021, Staple, in assessing damages, ordered that the Attorney General pay Morrison $300,000 for the breach of his constitutional rights and the $2.7 million for negligence. The judge accepted that Morrison was tried on charges that were not included in the extradition order. The judge found that Morrison did not have a right to appeal to the United Kingdom Privy Council when he was extradited. The court, in dismissing the appeal, said the learned judge correctly found that the respondents had not breached Mr. Morrison's constitutional rights, the Act, or the extradition treaty. He also correctly found that Mr. Morrison did not have a right of appeal to the Privy Council. In these circumstances, the learned judge was on good ground for refusing to make an award for vindicatory damages. The court will not disturb his award. It was ordered to pay 3/4 legal costs to the Attorney General, who was a respondent. The court apologized for the delay in handing down the judgment, which was reserved on December 13, 2022. Morrison was said to be a member of the violent drug gang called the Shower Posse, but he has denied ever being a member. The United States then named Morrison and Lester Lloyd Coke, also known as Jim Brown, as co-leaders of the gang and requested that the Jamaican government extradite them to face charges of murder, attempted murder, and conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute cocaine and marijuana. Coke, while awaiting extradition, died in a mysterious prison fire in February 1992. Morrison was extradited while an appeal was pending to the United Kingdom Privy Council against his extradition order. The Jamaican government had requested to have Morrison returned after it discovered he had an appeal pending but was unsuccessful. He was tried and convicted in the United States for cocaine offenses for which he was not extradited. The offenses for which he was extradited were thrown out for lack of evidence. Respondents were the Ministry of Justice and the Attorney General. They were presented by Attorney at Law Tanisha Rocoke, instructed by the Director of State Proceedings. Rocoke argued that the judge was generous in his award because there was no evidence that Morrison suffered actual loss because of the government's action. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.